It's 20 minutes of Hull City debates with three big questions to ask our panel this week. The first one being, how frustrated are you? With Kyle Joseph. Tremaine says, Joseph lovers won't defend him after this Watford game. He was terrible. He has no end product whatsoever. He is League One at best. Is that too harsh a criticism? Is it time to give up on Kyle Joseph? Hope you're all doing well. We're also looking at the midweek fixtures because, of course, they are here for the first time this week, and we think the computer's been a little bit unfair to Hull City. We'll explain why in a minute. And should the playoff spots go to 7th and 8th spot? The AFL are considering it. Let's get your thoughts on that. Would that help Hull City get to the Premier League? And a new spot this week. Encyclopedia for Hull City, the A to Z. Who would get in on page A? I've gone for this fella. Let's see if these three can come up with any better suggestions. Thought that might get tongues wagging. Hope you're doing well. It is 20 minutes of Hull City chat. We've got Ben, Matty and Elliot back with us, who are fresh back from Vicarage Road. We're recording this before the midweek fixtures, so of course forgive us for talking a little bit about Watford, but we're going to focus very much, Ben. On one Kyle Joseph. Is League One his standard?
I mean, I've seen a lot of people giving him stick after the game on Saturday, but in all honesty, I don't think he was that bad, really. I might be on my own in thinking that, but obviously he had that chance just before half-time where he could have took it with a bit more composure and probably scored, put us 2-0 up right before half-time. But I think it's because no one really notices what he does in-game. When you actually watch him, he does a hell of a lot of running, and the amount of times that you see him sprinting out to be the first man to put pressure on the defenders, it's like it happens so much. But it's like a couple of other players in the side where they do a lot of stuff, they do a lot of work, but it just goes unnoticed because it's not what you'd expect to see, like someone having a shot on target or scoring a goal like a McBurney does, or playing a pass across into the box like Giles does. I think he does a lot of the hard work and doesn't really get credited for it. So I think, personally, the stick he's got after the game on Saturday is quite harsh because he's done well in the last couple of games. Obviously, he's got up and running in terms of scoring goals. So I think people need to just chill out a bit because it's the first poor performance. Well, I say first poor performance in a while. We've had a couple recently, but last time out, we were all singing his praises, and then as soon as something bad happens, it just completely flips. So I think people just need to, before jumping straight onto someone, just analyse the whole performance. I think it was poor from the whole team, really, in the second half, and it's unfair to single out just one player.
I can see Elliot nodding along with you there. Matty's things done on it. Are these posters right, Matty? I mean, we've talked about him running around like a headless chicken before. He puts the energy in, no one's doubting that. But in terms of quality, is he a championship forward?
I'm probably in a different camp to Ben. I get that he works hard and he does put them under pressure, but ultimately he's there to produce for us, isn't he? And I think coming for the championship, a hefty price tag of 3 million. I think we were probably expecting something that was going to be a bit more of a finished article, I suppose, that was going to come in and start started banging in the goals and assisting and stuff like that. So, that's probably gone against him a little bit in terms of that. But I think he needs to start. He does now. Needs to start producing. He even needs to start sticking some more goals in, or I think as a bare minimum that we ask for him is that his work rate, which is great, yeah, fantastic. But now we need him to either link up more with McBurney. We need him to get on the end of a few more crosses or get into the box. I think for me personally, I'd want to see more from him. I love that his work rate, but he needs to start producing goals now. Is he up to championship standard? I think he probably is. I think he's still relatively young, so he's still got a lot of learning to go, and he's going to learn off the likes of McBurney and Geldart and stuff. He's going to learn off them. So hopefully he'll come good. But I think me as a fan and some other fans are just saying, well, what else can he bring to the team now? We need to show more for the price tag that was paid for him.
Elliot, here's a stat for us. David says 45 games now for Hull City without back-to-back wins. That's incredible, isn't it? That's a full season nearly now. We're in control and comfortable at the breakthrough at Benny's goal. We allowed a no great shakes Watford back into the game. Yeah, chucked it away. Forgetting the Watford game because it's gone now. But why are Hull City the most inconsistent side in the whole of the Championship?
To be fair, I think it's through performances like yesterday where first half sounded like we did well, and you see Watford fans were booing the team off and wanting the manager gone, this, that, the other, and then we've allowed them back into the game into the second half. We just need to. It's just frustrating, really. We're not able to back up any wins in the last sort of 12 months after beating Southampton 3-1 and then coming into this against Watford, who were fourth bottom, and then going 1-0 up and losing the game. It sort of, when I realised we hadn't won back-to-back for about a year now, I was like, well, no wonder, because we're just not able to string performances together. So something that definitely needs sorting out, because otherwise we're not going to be able to really build momentum and consistency and get up to the top 10, 12, which is what the aspirations are of the team. And I think there is potential for us to do that. It's just we're not able to string those results together. And I think especially over the next 5 games, we'll struggle to do the same, because we've got some really difficult games coming up, I think, including on Tuesday.
One suggestion for it, Ben, has been John says we have a poor shape and a lack of team cohesion. We need wide players back because we've got a lot of new players in round pegs and square holes. Is Akintola supposed to play right wing? If so, does John have a point, Ben?
I think to an extent, yes. Obviously, we saw Drame start at right wing, but Jakirevich did say that is to deal with their main threat, which was that number 66 on the left-hand side, who was just absolutely lightning quick. So there is reasons why we do that, but I think even though we have brought in some new signings, they've not quite. I don't think they're quite the quality that we need so far. I know it's harsh to judge them, and I've said all that about being harsh on Kyle Joseph, but I'm not 100% sure on Akintola. I think he's one of them where he has one good game and then the next game it's a bit like he's not quite up to it 100%. So yeah.
Double home MKM week then, Matty. Preston first off, which of course we were recording this before, and then of course at the weekend you've got it's a Ruben Sellers derby, or would have been had it happened a couple of weeks ago. Chris Wilder returning to Yorkshire. Would you take what? Would you take 4 points from them? I'm guessing you would.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think we've got I think traditionally we're quite strong against Preston at home. We've got a decent home record against Preston. So I quite fancy us against those on Tuesday. Yeah, Sheffield United is going to be even though they are where they are in the league and they picked up the first win at weekend. I still think that is the toughest game out of the two. But yeah, I would definitely bite your hand off and say 4 points now. Take that out, and it'd be great to get. It seems like we have played a little bit better at home this season. Apart from obviously the Blackburn Tonkin, we've played a little bit better at home this season. So hopefully we're turning that home form around from the last couple of seasons and going to turn it into a bit of a fortress at home. So yeah, I think we said last week there's no team really that I fear in this league, and I'm expecting us to pick up 3 points against Preston and then give Sheffield United a really good game on Saturday. So yeah, I'm optimistic. The result didn't go for us Saturday, but there's still signs there that we are a good team when we put it together. We can put it together. It's just, as Elliot said, it's just eking out those little inconsistencies, and I think that we lost a bit of legs, I think, in the midfield yesterday, and they just kind of went a little bit direct and bullied us a little bit, so we just can't afford to do that every game. So, but yeah, 4 points would be very nice. Take us up into that mid-table where we probably deserve to be honest.
Fingers crossed for that then during this next week's review. Though still to come, however, this week should 8th place get into the playoffs, and in your Hull City A to Z, who for you is the hero that we should see on that page if it's not my man earlier. Right, Elliot. The fixture computer then for Hull City this season has thrown up 4 teams which you're going to face across all midweek fixtures. So it's back to back against Preston, home and away. Same with Leicester, same with Derby, and same with Ipswich. Now, looking at that, you say there's a bit of bias there that they've given you quite favourable fixtures to visit. I mean, there's apart from Ipswich, there's not really too much to worry about. I mean, we've obviously got Middlesbrough, which is Boxing or Christmas period, which is usually the case, isn't it, for that period? All right, this, isn't it?
Yeah, some decent games. I think, obviously, as Mike said, we're quite decent against Preston at home. I think the last 2 seasons have beat them at home as well. And obviously last year we were terrible at home. So that's a decent one. And then even Leicester at home, they haven't quite got going yet. And Derby are sort of struggling at the moment, but I think they will pick up. Also with Ipswich, I think by the time we play them in November, I can expect them to sort of maybe be more in the top 6 fight and be pushing upwards now. And then with Wrexham and Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough's a tough test, but I'd say with Wrexham, I think that's a good chance maybe as well. They're a bit up and down, and I think they'll maybe take a bit of time this season to sort of gel with all the players have signed. And I'm not too sure that even though they've spent that much, I don't think they're quite a promotion team this season. So I think there is a chance there for us to pick up points against them as well. So yeah, I think there's a few good midweek fixtures that we could hopefully profit from this season.
It's been very kind to Hull, I think, Ben, isn't it? No trips to London, no South Coast ones. Swansea's not there. I think someone's looking after Hull this season. Right, we'll see how you get on. Let's get your views on this one. So this week the AFL have announced that they are in talks to extend the Championship playoffs to include the top 8 clubs, which means that finishing 7th and 8th could get you to Wembley, and we could have the 8th finished team in the Premier League, Ben. Is it good? First of all, is it good for Hull, and then is it good for football?
Well, it would have been if you'd have given us that 2 years ago. But I think I can see both sides of the argument. Obviously, given an extra 2 slots available for playoffs is obviously a very good chance to get someone different into the Premier League, because it seems to be, or it has been in recent years, it's been the same 3 up and down. But then on the flip side, it's like the 8th best team could have a chance to get into the Premier League, and then all of those in between 8th to 2nd. I know it's obviously down to how they play, but it does seem a bit unfair when you look at it from that side. But I think it would be a good opportunity to see maybe a smaller side get promoted, or a side that's not, maybe they've done well at the start and dropped out a little bit. They still have a chance at a shot at going up. So I can see it from both sides, but I'm not sure how well it would go down with some fans when the 8th best side ends up in the playoff final against someone who's been up there the whole season and they've just sort of like snuck in at the end or something like that. So yeah, I can definitely see it from both positive and negative sides, that is for sure.
Cheers, Ben. I mean, Matty, there's so many dead rubbers at the end of the season, isn't there? From sort of end of April onwards. I mean, they're obviously trying to do it to prevent that. I mean, yeah, sometimes you've been involved in them, isn't it? You've been travelling to games, there's nothing on the line. Do you see the benefits of it?
Yeah, it's very similar to the conference, isn't it? That's how they work. They've worked it, haven't they? And I suppose it is conference level, but it's added a bit of excitement. But it'd only go to like a 1-legger, wouldn't it? And I think I don't know. There's a lot of jeopardy on that in terms of you go to. I know a York fan, and they finished 2nd, and like they ended up losing to Oldham and in the playoffs, and it's just like, well, York, that team that finished 2nd, 3rd, like Ben says, have worked really hard that season to cement the place in the playoffs. It feels a bit unfair like that, and to be honest, I don't think the Championship essentially needs it. I think it works already. I mean, last season we were going to the last 3-4 games where anybody from 12th could have gone down, or anybody from 12th could have gone, down first from 12th could have gone up. So I think they're just trying to think of different ways or evolve the game and stuff. For me, it works. The championship works. Just keep it as it is. We don't need to change it. Ultimately, yes, it would benefit us probably because I don't think we won't be banging up there for a while at the top of the season. But I just think it works. It's a great format that already traditionally works. Just keep it as it is. But why are we changing it when we don't need to? That's my view anyway.
Okay. Right. Thank you for all being coordinated this week as well. To say.
So sail on at Tiger Leisure.
Right. We hope you're going to get involved in this debate in the comments, please, because I'm sure it's going to go. It's certainly going to be an interesting debate. So we are opening an A to Z on Hull City. Okay, but we're only having one page, one entry per letter. Okay. Now you pulled your faces when I put Sonny Aluko up earlier for the letter A, so I'm desperate to hear what better alternatives you have then. Elliot, please. You can have a player, manager, sponsor, anyone connected with Hull City that has to be there for the letter A.
I was struggling, to be fair. I could only think of Abel for Abel Hernandez, but I'm going to go with Ashby. It's just popped up into my mind. Obviously, captain take us from what is League Two to the Premier League. I think he's probably arguably one of the greatest club legend, if not the greatest. So, certainly in the modern era, I think he is. Obviously, you've got Wagstaff as well, but I'd say probably Ashby.
Right. Okay. Decent shout, Ben.
I think mine was Abel Hernandez. Obviously, there's a couple of others, the owners, but yeah, I'll leave that to Matty if he wants to touch on current or previous owners because they're both in the same category. But yeah, like from my time watching City, Abel Hernandez was probably my overall favourite player. Just such a good striker at the level that we've been at. We're so lucky to have him. I think a lot of the times when he goes as like a free agent or something, the whole of Hull City Twitter is like, you know what to do, bring him back, Atchon, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'd love to see him come back. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I think Abel Hernandez is my pick, definitely.
Right, Matty, you're putting Asa Milan then, are you?
Oh yeah, definitely the Alams. Get them in. I suppose to be fair, when they first came on board, it was all roses and everything was great. But the name change obviously changed that. So I think my shout would have been Ashby, but obviously Elliot's I'm gonna put a name out there for all the older generation. These guys probably won't know who it is, so I'm gonna go Alan Fettis, who was Hull City's goalkeeper back in the 90s. When we were really struggling, he actually came on against Oxford up front because we didn't have enough players, and he scored the winner, which was amazing. And I remember it in the South Stand. It was great. It just all went off, and he actually played the last game of the season as well against Blackpool away, and he scored again. He actually started up front. So we had him. I think we had him and Dean Windass up front. So can you imagine that? It was just like absolute crazy. So I'll go for him just for the older fans. If we actually have any older fans out there, Mark, I'm trying to drag him in for us. So, but yeah, I'm going for Alan Fettis. I think he was a club legend. And to be fair, he was an excellent goalkeeper as well. He was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'll go for him.
No one wants Sonny then? No.
I think you can keep him, Mark. You can put him back in the. Put him back in for S. Maybe consider him for that.
All right. In the comments then, please, which of those three that these have mentioned, or can you let us know your own, and we will have a look at the comments to see which one has come up with those. So vote for Ben, Matty, or Elliot in the comments. Also, you can put your nominations in for the letter B for next week. As well. You've broken my rule of surname only, by the way. You've messed that up completely right from the off. So there we go. Surnames only, please. Beginning with B next week. Thank you very much, you three. Enjoy your double header at the MKM, and we'll see you in 7 days' time, hopefully, with 4 points or 6 points on the board. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do drop us a quick subscribe as well. Help us to get to that magic 400. That'd be amazing. See you next week.